What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Sheree. Today we're going to be talking about how to enter your soft girl era, or how to live your best soft life. Before we jump into the video, I want to explain what a soft girl era or a soft life actually is. It's someone who chooses to live a well-rounded and balanced lifestyle. It's someone who pours into themselves. They're self-aware, and they love to live a life of luxury and leisure. So pretty much the soft life is the opposite of anything that's like grind culture. They prefer to live a life of ease, and they feed into the positive and not the negative. That's the best way I can kind of describe what a soft life or a soft girl era is. If you're watching this video, you've probably already seen the soft girl takeover on social media, which brings me to my first tip. Appearance and aesthetics. I just want to point out this is the most optional tip and part of the video. In no way should you ever change yourself for anyone else or to follow a trend. Use your own discernment. Like, do what you want. Before we jump into this tip, I just want to say that. And this is the reason I wanted to explain what a soft girl or soft life is before I got into the video. Because on social media, the soft girl is really all about aesthetics, beauty, and clothing, which is a part of it, but it's not all of it. But if you're here for the soft girl era look and aesthetic, I still got you. So we'll go into beauty first. So the makeup of a soft girl is gonna be similar to the clean girl aesthetic, just really nice, like a soft glam, if you will. And as far as clothing, form-fitting clothing, lots of cute skirts and dresses, just everything girly and cute, all the fun colors, the pastels, the pinks. That's kind of how I can sum up the soft girl aesthetic and look aspect of everything. I really do think that the fashion plays a huge role in the soft girl aesthetic. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely wear whatever you want. Like, I know I'm gonna wear whatever I want. Like, no one's gonna tell me what to wear. But you do have to keep in mind, fashion is a form of expression. And sometimes as humans, subconsciously, we can make our mind up about a person or judge them off bat by how they dress or how they look. So it's just an aspect of human nature. People already have an idea about you in their head, whether it's subconscious or not, or intentional or not. So your fashion definitely plays a role in how you're perceived. Dress how you want, wear what you want and what you're comfortable in, but just keep in mind that fashion is self-expression and people will make judgments off of what you wear. Not that you're trying to impress anyone, but we're talking about how we want to be perceived. My next tip is all about improving your energy. The soft life is all about free-flowing energy and giving and receiving. I'm a firm believer in that. So if you're giving off bad energy, you're gonna get that back. Having good intentions and good energy inside and putting that out there and getting it back. So you just have this revolving cycle of positivity versus negativity. We all know which one is better, so you get what you give. So if you're feeling like your energy is off or you're just not yourself, some ways to improve your energy is to get good sleep, and I mean adequate sleep. Nurture yourself. And what I mean by that is to give yourself time and allow yourself to make mistakes. Don't be so hard on yourself. Try not to be your worst critic, which is a tough one, but the more you work on it, the better it'll get. And lastly, shifting your focus to positive. It is very easy to focus on the negative. A lot goes on in people's lives and just in the world. It is very easy to focus on the negative. You have to train yourself to focus on the positive. Shifting your focus from negative to positive takes time, discipline, and dedication. Because if you've been paying attention to negativity most of your life, or just always looking at the negative side of things, it's gonna take time for you to even see the positive. But there's always a positive, there's always a silver lining. Even if you gotta dig deep to find it, find it. Improving your energy takes time, but it is so important and so beneficial in the end. It's so worth it. Improving your energy is important because it'll change your mind, it'll change your attitude towards life and even your perception, how you see things. And pretty soon you'll see it in other people too. It'll start coming back to you. That's why it's so important for people to work on themselves as individuals first. Which brings me to the next tip. This next tip is for anyone who feels like they've been in their masculine energy for too long and have honestly gotten comfortable. When you're trying to transition from your masculine energy to your feminine energy, I want you to keep one thing in mind. You need both. This isn't about getting rid of your masculine energy and coming to the feminine side. It's not about that. You don't want to completely leave your masculine energy behind. Some ways you can transition from masculine to feminine energy or find that happy medium is to seek validation from self. Once you validate yourself, you don't need validation from anywhere else. Along with validation, you need to feel your emotions. There is nothing wrong with feeling your emotions. If you didn't have emotions, you wouldn't be human. It's not something you should shame yourself about. Feel your emotions completely. You need to feel your emotions. You need to allow yourself to process things. And I say to feel your emotions second, because once you find validation in yourself, feeling your emotions becomes slightly easier. And not only do you want to feel your emotions, you want to express your emotions. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to express yourself. Just know that there is no right way to express yourself, but once you find what that is, whether it's writing, journaling, or creating art, or music, anything, once you find what that is, use it as a tool and use it to help yourself. Another thing that helps you come out of your masculine energy and more into your feminine energy is to disconnect from all the noise. There's a lot of noise out here. There's a lot of opinions, and it's very easy to get caught up in noise when really you only need to hear yourself. Because with embracing your feminine energy will come intuition. You will find that you have all the answers you need. Hence why you should seek self-validation. So turning off the noise and not listening to many opinions. And I'm saying this because there's a lot of podcasts out there and just a lot of people saying all types of things. It's always a battle of the sexes, and really it needs to be more about feminine and masculine energy and how we need to start balancing that and finding a happy medium. The intuition that comes with it is satisfying. You could come to yourself for answers. You will find that you already know what you need to do, and you'll feel more grounded once you find and embrace your feminine energy, or when you begin to balance the two. And I say you want to balance the two because being too much in your masculine energy you can come off very aggressive, combative, or just real controlling. I already touched on this next tip a little bit in the previous one, but that next tip is having balance. Life is all about balance. It's kind of like that saying of too much of anything isn't good for you. You want your feminine and masculine energy to be in harmony and not at war. Being too feminine can cause you to overextend yourself, to nurture those who may not deserve it, and to be a little too forgiving. And being in your masculine energy can cause aggression or power struggles for dominance. Neither of those sound good, but in harmony, they can work perfect. When you balance those two energies, you will find that you can deal with things and approach things a lot better. Self-care. You should always prioritize yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself first at that. Pamper yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Self-care is very important because if you don't do it, who will? This brings me to my next tip, which is self-discovery. Self-discovery has a lot to do with self-awareness and knowing that you're always secure in yourself. I'm not gonna go too deep into this tip because I could go on and rant about this one for hours, but I will leave you with 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. What makes you, you? Are you living in your truth? What are you passionate about? I want you to get curious about yourself and ask yourself those questions. Whether you write it down or answer them mentally, they're very important questions to ask yourself. The last tip is cutting people off. I know it's really easy for some people to go snip, snip, you never existed. But the reality is most people find it difficult to let go or release relationships that don't serve them. I know, it's easier said than done. I mean, these are people that you've created bonds with. People you never saw yourself living without, but sometimes you gotta cut them loose. I'm not gonna tell you to just cut people off and it doesn't matter. People have to do things on their own time. Not only is it easier said than done, but it can also be very confusing. You might be like, Sheree, how do I know who to cut off? Like, how do I know what is worthy of a snip snip? It can be very confusing because you are supposed to have a forgiving heart, and you're also supposed to let humans be human and know that people make mistakes and things can be talked about. There are definitely levels to it, 100% levels to a cutoff. This will help you determine whether you can keep a person or you need to cut them out of your life. Ask yourself these questions. Who is no longer worthy of my energy? Who brings me out of my element? Who is not on the same type of time as you? Who is not allowing you to grow and evolve? Who is not seeing the you want to become? And to play off of that same question, you can ask yourself, who is not growing? Who is not evolving? Who is not growing and changing with you? Who decides to stay in the same place? Who is stagnant and wants you to be stagnant with them? Those are some things you can ask yourself and see if it's worthy for a snip snip, because sometimes you just have to do it. And that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.